Hey, what up, fam? It's Joe Mill here, back with Killer Miller Q. Today it is bright, sun is shining. Lone Star Grill's already fired up. We're gonna be getting us a good, beautiful smoked picanha on that baby. Let's get right to it. The music. You see what we looking at right here. I'm sure I'm gonna pronounce this wrong. We got us a beautiful coulette or something like that, but basically we're looking at a nice 3.3 pound Snake River Farms picanha. I've never actually got a chance to try picanha. Been meaning to get to a Brazilian steakhouse for the longest, so this is something that's going to be fun to kind of finally chalk off my list. I'm not going to do this the traditional Brazilian way on the skewers and everything, because I really don't feel like shaving off the meat. I want to cook this as a whole roast and get some good smoke on here and part it in, and then we're going to slice this into steaks, and then we're going to get a little bit of fire on here and sear it down. I do want to make sure I kind of keep it easy with the seasoning. This is a Snake River Farm, so Wagyu beef, as well as it's supposed to already be a superior cut of meat anyway, so I want to get a chance to taste that. So what we will be using is I'm making me up a fresh batch, as you can see here, of my new and improved Killer Miller Q 110, which is basically a nice SPG. I'm just using an old pepper bottle that I had. I'm about to mix up real quick, so nothing too crazy. I'm gonna keep it real simple so that way I can actually enjoy and taste the actual flavor of this meat. But let me get this out the packet. We're gonna season this baby back up liberal on all sides, including the fat, and I'm gonna let it hang out a little bit longer in the fridge for a bit and soak some of that in. And here's a peek at what it looks like outside the package. I've always heard, beautiful looking marbling over here by Snake River Farms, that the fat cap is where all the flavor is at, especially in this picanha, so I'm not even going to touch that. Where normally I might bring that down a little bit, but we're going to leave that wedge just like it is. Pretty much all I've done is kind of get the additional moisture up off of here. But one thing I did see, as I was thinking I was going to leave this completely along, is you can see some silver skin here. I am going to take that off so I can get us a nice meat side. Other than that, I'm going to leave it as is. Much better. I ain't want to go too crazy on it. I want to leave pretty much everything intact. Got rid of a couple of these loose stragglers around here on the outside, and we're just going to smooth it together. I'm going to cook this thing fat side up. I'm not worried about a binder at this point. It's already starting to sweat out with all that good fat in there, so I think I'll be more, look at my hand, I think you'll be more than enough to make sure that all these seasonings stick. I'm going to start on the fat side, and we'll go from there. There it is, nothing too crazy. I'm not going too heavy. While this rub is predominantly pepper, I don't want to over salt it. It's not that big of a piece of meat, but I do want to get some on this fat cap side. I'm gonna pat that down. I've got a little bit on the sides already. Now let's hit the meat side. That's it. Keeping it super simple and basic. We're gonna let the smoke and the meat speak for itself. I'm gonna clean up this board a little bit, or this plate a little bit. We can get the rest of that onto this meat, and I'm about to let this go ahead and hang out in the refrigerator for a little bit before we come back out here and get this Lone Star up to temp. All right, and as we getting this cook started, shouts out to Magnifuse, man. I've been holding on to these gloves for a minute, wanted to bring them out for the right thing, and what better than the Snake River Farms picanha to get it going with. They looked out for me and sent these gloves out. I'm looking forward to it because the gloves that I've had are actually getting a little older, no longer quite as pliable as they used to be, as well as they never did have some of the features on here. As you can see, these things is rated up to 932 degrees Fahrenheit. And then the other thing I liked about them was they had those magnetic clips that allows it a lot easier for you to take your gloves off, or for you to even store them like right on the side of your pit or something like that. I'll learn more as once we get these babies open, but let's bring these out, as I need to get the coals, as I was doing a smaller cook earlier, from my Weber kettle into the old Lone Star. That's how we're gonna start this fire. Now, instantly out the package, I tell you what, These gloves feel great. They're kind of like a thick rubber, heavy duty rubber type feel. You can tell that it's nice and insulated, but it feels like they should have great grip where you don't got to worry about a slippery plate or some barbecue sauce setting you up for failure. So I like that, but let's get these babies on. Cool as I just had both of them on for a second, but obviously I've always one-hand banded over here holding the camera. Basically, you got this magnetic portion here where you slide directly in, real easy on the slide in, and it helps you pull this left hand off, and then basically from there you can get your gloves off, have one hand to work with, or slide right back into them. I'm about to get these hot coals out. Like I said, I had a small cook over here earlier, and we'll see exactly how these grill gloves can perform. So far so good. Set that to the side. These are my hot coals I need, so I'm just gonna shake off a little bit of this. The hatch, no issues. That was pretty good. Now I also might say these, just because they got that rubber padding, if I wipe these back off, since I did just use some of them, but I want to see how they handle the superheat. Maybe I'll use these as one where I'm actually able to grip my meat when it's super hot. That sounds horrible. Coming out of the grill and not have to worry about trying to, use a spatula or something like that. But work for what I needed it for. Shouts out to Old Man Chef for sending these out to me. All right, grabbing this out of here. This picanha had a little bit of time to sit in the refrigerator uncovered and really just rest and allow some of these seasoning and that salt to start to penetrate. You can see that most of the salt granules have kind of more or less absorbed into the meat. Obviously, it's kind of like that dry brine if it had stayed overnight. We really would have got a lot of deep penetration, but at least we kind of got some of that going. I'm gonna let this sit out while that fire comes on up to temp. All right, we smoking right along. We're about 250. We used up some pecan wood. Got me a couple white sweet potatoes in here. And I'm going back into the bottom corner. Took my top grate out for this old Lone Star. And check out that old picanha. Snake River Farms, 3.3 pounds, baby. And really wasn't too much of nothing I had to take off of here other than a little bit of silver skin and a couple little areas maybe where it was just like, kind of getting it cornered off. But we're going to let this thing sit and get some good clean smoke, and I'll come back and bring y'all in when we check it out. Hey team, I want to jump in here real quick and let you know, thanks for following along on today's cook. If you're new to the channel, go to the bottom right corner, make sure you subscribe, check out a lot of videos that you have missed, and if you haven't done it already, find me on all the social sites, Facebook, IG, and TikTok. Rolling along, it's been about 46 minutes, and it's that sweet spot. 250 is where this Lone Star love to be at. See, I got a little condensation there inside of my grill temp, but I ain't worried about it. It won't last long. Just getting a peek at it. I know there's nothing I'm gonna do. I don't plan on spritzing or nothing like that. I'm just gonna let it ride. But so far so good. We're gonna let you hang out while I'm getting some wood up in here, and other than that, I'll see you in a little bit. All right, we got an hour and 17 minutes rolling up here. Still been holding on, 225 to 250. Might be about time to pick me a log in here. Now, last time when we was in here, what was we at, about 46 minutes, I believe. It was only at about 90, 95, 99 degrees in some areas. We're gonna see where we at right now. Just kind of temp around a little bit. 122. Let's try more towards the middle. 124. Back here on the back. Okay. I'm not too mad at where we at right now. I'm gonna let it keep going a little bit longer, getting this slow smoke in here, this pecan wood. I'm gonna throw me another log in. I'm gonna probably take it up to about 135, 140-ish. Before I'm actually going to take this thing off of here. We'll cut it into some steaks. You can see which way the grain is going if you look real closely. Get my finger right here. Here we go, right? Grain's going this way on this picanha. All of it goes in one direction. So what we're going to do is we want to cut those steaks in the same direction, so that way when I'm actually slicing that steak at the end to taste it, I'll be cutting against the grain, right? So I'm going to cut my steaks that way. Shoop, 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 shoop. About an inch, inch and a half, but we got a little bit of time. So we had about an hour and 47 minutes. Let's check this baby out. Still looking good. Nice and moist over here, bathing itself. See if I done got to where I want to be. Not quite. 133 degrees, which I'm glad. I don't mind. Let it sit back and get some more of the smoke. enjoy these elements. I'll be back to get you right. Just throwing a log in. We're doing good. Hey, didn't got laid on me. Here we are 2 hours in, and I'm telling you that Lone Star, like always, been holding in more or less at that 250 like a champ. 2 hours of smoke in. It's time for this thing to come up off of here. You can tell it's been growing a little bit as it's starting to bow a little bit. Beautiful color all the way through. Nothing but that 110 on there right now. We about to pull this off. I got my handy dandy spatula, big spatula from off of the Blackstone, and we're gonna go ahead and take it to its resting spot. And y'all can roll with me. Let's go. If this thing hit the floor, we all gonna cry. Big step. And we about to be cooking some steaks. There we go. And we about to be cooking some steaks. Check this out. Batter takes a little bit off my hands. That 110, undefeated. Literally, this is all I can need, or all I need on pretty much anything, man. Literally, you can throw this on chicken, you can throw this on some steak, you could throw this probably on some brisket, which I haven't done yet, but I'm gonna try. I already know it's gonna work, because at the end of the day, it's pretty much the same components that would normally go on a basic brisket, which ain't nothing but the salt, the pepper, and some garlic, man. Can't go wrong. Keep it basic, put some clean smoke on it. Got that beautiful red color to it. We about to cut some steaks. As you can see, the grains are running that way, right? Look at these lines right there. Like a cat been scratching on it, right? It goes that way the whole way. So what we're gonna do is cut these steaks 1.5 inches, bow, 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 right that way, and we'll run back over here, get a little quick sear, and then you know what time it is. Woo! Check this out one time. Man, this thing is juicy, and obviously I'm losing juices left and right. I should have put this in my barbecue tub. Let's go quickly back to the old pit. Baby's out here flaming. Check out that smoke ring. 2 hours of smoke. We'll get about 45 seconds. We're gonna get a quick flip. Let me close this thing up. 45 seconds in. There go one flip. Let's get 45 on this side. Let me close this thing up. Look at that color. All right, let's check it out. Woo, that flame is kicking up strong. I'm pretty sure that's gonna be good for me. So let me pull these babies off of here. We're gonna let them rest, and we can get a taste. Oh, let me tell you, man, I have totally wasted way too much juice that it came out of this picanha right here. When I sliced into it initially to get my slices, man, I lost so much runoff. I wish I would have been on a cutting board or one that would absorb some. This cutting board here even starts to lose. I gotta give me a new one, so you can even see it's starting to already push towards the channels. This thing is super duper juicy, and it smells so good, and it ain't nothing but that Killer Miller Q110. Like I told you, this is really all I need on some meat. You can see that fat starting to get nice and yellowish as it got nice and puffy, which means it's good and rendered out. 2 hours of smoke, then basically took it over there once it was at about 140-ish to get itself seared on both sides. Got us a nice little bit of char on here. This piece right here, which is pretty much the end knuckle, will be what I'm about to play with, because I'm not going to eat too much tonight, but that right there is mine. Now I'll leave them 3 daddies for later. But we got some beautiful color on there. Definitely got some great smoke off that Lone Star with that pecan. I'm looking forward to it, but I'm going to let it chill just for a second, and we're going to slice into you. Long enough. Let's cut into this baby. As you can see, we pretty much got the grains running this way. So I'm going to turn it that way. Let's rate that straight. That's right? Oh, they're going straight. Yes, we'll cut it right there. There we go. Basic slice. Let's see what the middle looking like. Oh my Jesus. Still nice and hot, as you can see. Look at that smoke ring. 2 hours of smoke. I don't gotta sit here and tell you this is juicy. Look at this cutting board. Look at this cutting board. I poured the juice off, okay? I told you the juice already ran off. And I poured all of this juice off to add to the big pieces that I'm actually gonna be tasting. That's just what's left. That's just what's accumulating off of what's left. And look at that smoke. Let's get us a taste of this one right here. I'm bringing in close for you. Let it focus in. Seasonings is still nice and intact. That 110 on there. Woo. Nice little bit of fat. I'm even gonna try the fat. Super tender. Wow. I'm glad wifey told me to just do the SPG, the 110. So I can really taste what this thing tastes like. This thing almost got its own little bacon thing going on. That was all the fat and everything right there. Wow. I don't even eat the fat like that. But that's pretty good. Let me try this one. Woo! Smoky, tender, perfect salt. Look at that juice. Want to know how juicy it is? Look at that. That's a wrap. We're not going to make this too long. We'll keep it short. First things first, big shout out to old Magnus Chef over there sending me these old Freedom barbecue gloves. These are really nice, man. One thing I really like about them, as you can see, is they got that metal or that magnet on there. Really allows you to be able to pull one off on its own real easy. They're nice and long. They fit one size. And it's an American-made company for those that care about that. But they sent me these to check out. Definitely worked well. We'll be adding them into the collection, so you'll definitely see them a little bit again, or maybe you won't, but I will be using them. As far as getting into that picanha, first time I got to get me some picanha in my life. I enjoyed it like always. The Lone Star did the job like always. Put some beautiful smoke on there. Basically cooking at about 250. I was able to get about 2 hours of smoke on that roast. I think I was just pushing almost at 3.5 pounds. I think about 3.3. Barely took off a little bit of that fat and everything. But you don't want to really take off too much of that fat cap. That's part of your good stuff. But it really came out well. I'm so happy to talk to wifey, as I was thinking about playing around with a couple other steak seasonings that I hadn't used that I really wanted to try. But I wouldn't have really got a chance to experience and taste what that picanha tastes like as a different cut of meat. On top of the fact that was a Snake River Farms picanha. You know what I mean? You spend so much on that good meat, it's supposed to talk to you without you having to do much. She was the one that told me just go with that Killer Miller Q110, keep it nice and basic, and I'm happy I did. That meat screams right over the top. As you can see, when I was just rubbing my hand over there, it's so marbled, and that fat is so different than the normal fat. It was literally just melting in my hand as it was sheening over itself. But I really got to the point where I don't like to use binders too much unless I really for some reason have to, which you really never do. So I just like to let the meat speak for itself. SPG on that thing and let it go ahead and do what it had to do. Cooked up really nice, sliced it up. I love being able to use that Lone Star, slide over to that other compartment and be able to get you a nice little bit of a sear off. As far as the flavor, it was a different flavor than I've tasted on any other steak. But with that said, obviously I liked it. That fat was also very tasty. Normally I won't eat a whole lot of the fat, but I found myself eating those whole pieces of fat, and it almost gave me like a bacon type flavor. It had its own texture to it, its own flavor to it overall, where that meat was just really rich. And I don't know if that was just Snake River Farms and the fact that it's so striated, being it's that Wagyu beef, or is that just picanha in general? Y'all let me know down there in the comments section, but one way or another, them picanha steaks was nice, all right? Good shouts out to all my people that have been checking me out from day one, my family, my boys over there with Black Smoke Barbecue, Magnus Chef for sending me these gloves, you in TV land, I appreciate everybody. I'll catch y'all in the week. We're gonna keep this thing rolling. Peace.